Hi, I'm Anna Bligh. I'm the former Premier of Queensland. I was Queensland's first Premier and Australia's first elected woman Premier. I've been asked to say a few words to you today about leadership. Leaders shape and define our world. The people who have the hands on the levers and make decisions shape and affect the lives of everybody. So leadership matters. And it's not surprising that we spend quite a bit of time thinking about what leadership is and what it can be. For me, leadership is what you see when the rule book runs out. If you're a capable person and there's a really good rule book, you can follow it and you can make good things happen. But real leadership is what's called for when experiences beyond our previous knowledge happen around us. And those events can happen in classrooms, they can happen in schoolyards, they can happen at a state level. So when the rule book runs out, what do? In my view, what we all do is switch to instinct. And it's not always easy to define instinct. For me, instinct is what life gives you as it layers upon layers of life experience. And that means that every experience counts. The experience is where you tried something and you failed. The times when you put your hand up against all the odds and managed to do something well. All of that layers an experience upon an experience that when the rule book runs out, when there's no one else who's prepared to jump up and take responsibility in a moment that demands leadership, that's when it all comes together and counts. For women, those experiences and those layers of life experience are often very different to our male colleagues. For me as a mother, the experiences that I had, for example, when my children were very sick and I was in hospital worrying about them, and I learnt that I couldn't be the one to panic. I had to learn how to actually control my own fears and distress at the situation so that I could be the adult, I could be the mother, and those life experiences built upon each other so that ultimately, when I was called upon in Queensland's time of need, particularly during those terrible floods and disasters in January 2011, my instinct drove every decision I made because we didn't have time to be looking up rule books, even if there were rule books to be looked up. What all of that means for me is that women should have confidence in valuing the life experiences that they have. Everything that you've said yes or no to along the way has shaped you, and it's given you an ability to respond to a situation in ways that you may not even be aware of. So put a value on all of that experience and be confident about it, and make sure that other people know that what you bring to the equation is a high value experience of life. When it comes to life experiences, I think it's fair to say that we often, as women, have different experiences to our male colleagues. And one of the observations I have is that men are often very comfortable about being explicit about what other life experiences have brought to them and their leadership style. So I see male CEOs very confidently and explicitly talking about the teamwork that they learnt on a football field, how playing rugby taught them leadership and strength and personal confidence. And I'm sure it did do all of those things. But what I notice is that they feel comfortable being very explicit about that. I very rarely see women being equally comfortable and equally as explicit talking about the experiences they might have had that have shaped them and their leadership ability. What they learned when their children were sick, for example, in a hospital, when they were tempted to panic, very, very distressed, but they held it together and they learnt something about what they could endure. And that lesson is a very powerful lesson. So I just encourage women to have confidence that the experiences you have in life, the layers and layers of experience that are now hardwired into you, have made you somebody who has something of value to offer. And I'd encourage you to have confidence in it.
Thank you. And can you just say that one about leaderships for a very limited time?
Yeah, sure.
Not
Yep.
a visit.
Yep.
Thank you. And then we're done.
Good.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Anna.
If you think that, if you're somebody who aspires to be in a more senior position, somebody who thinks they've got something to offer as a leader, one of the pieces of advice I would give you is to be very strategic about what you want to do as a leader. No matter what the leadership position is, it will be time limited. whether it's an electoral term, whether it's a period of time as a principal, it won't be forever, and it'll be a relatively short period of time in the big scheme of things. Don't be a leader who's just there visiting. Be someone who's a leader with purpose, someone who wants to make a difference. And that means being very focused on the one or two things that matter to you more than anything. Not being distracted by all the other possibilities and just driving that change and being the person who is the champion of that change. That's what people want to see in a leader. That's when they'll want to follow you.